All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Yu Yu Hakusho, episode 109. Kurama is not dead. Because, no, Togashi would never kill him off. But he had the gall to make us think that he was considering it.
Yeah, but Kurama might have killed off by also rebirthing himself into who he, well, always was when he came back. Well, came to Earth.
Yeah, he dealt with Yoko.
He dealt with Yoko. Yeah. He killed his past, but he didn't forget it.
Right.
He just
Still a part
moved
of him.
forward.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that's rather exciting about having characters who go into these long-form stories, is that they eventually have to visit, basically, the choices that led them to this moment and think about, do they want to continue to make those types of choices? Would they like to establish new patterns of choices? And sometimes that means that you say goodbye to people like Yomi. It's like, hey, we did have a great bit of time together, and who you and I were together then led me to be able to make this choice now in some small way.
I am grateful for that. Yeah. And Yomi will be that first person that's there before even his new crew, to make sure that he's okay.
Right.
But now what's next?
What's next? Well, we gotta have some stuff from the Hiei corner.
Yeah. Our short king needs his time in the spotlight.
Right?
Kurama went first, because age before beauty, right? And now
I'm sorry, Kurama has age and beauty on his side. I'll have
but
you know.
Hiei doesn't think so.
Hiei
Power is beauty.
Hiei dumped the stats that he decided to dump, and he is okay with that.
That's right.
He is a tsundere, but he is not so insecure that he has to try and pretend like he has anything on Kurama with regards to aesthetic and attractiveness and charisma.
And maybe not even when it comes to fighting.
But that could change. That could change here. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh!
Hey!
Oh!
All right, let's do it.
Whoa, that's a matchup.
Oh!
Well, sports fans, I hope you brought your appetites for destruction, because our next gruesome twosome is no other
This
than
is like some
Kuro and Hiei.
Sith Lord and apprentice kind of shit.
They could not have asked for a more fortunate turn of events. By fighting one another, they're greatly reducing our competition.
Would you quit muttering crap like that? You're embarrassing us.
What do you mean?
I mean, it makes us sound weak.
Right. I'm sorry.
Maybe we do need help, but no one needs to know.
Okay.
And this was random, right?
Yep.
So, who cares?
I'm fine. All I need now are a few moments to rest.
I need more than that.
Just allow me to watch Hiei's next battle.
My man's on that short rest economy,
Yeah.
Let me sit for an hour and I'm set.
I mean, let's be real. Hiei would be very emotionally hurt if Kurama didn't watch his fight.
Slavery, yeah.
Okay.
I was sold into slavery before I was even old enough to know what a slave was. I knew nothing of my home or family. I didn't even know my own name.
Shit.
The only thing I was sure of was my intense desire to taste freedom.
Oh, but she already
So
had
when
the
the time
chemical
was
prints,
right,
okay?
I ran away.
Yeah, we don't know how long ago that to this was.
No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't free myself from my shackles. The scars that bondage had seared into my spirit.
Oh,
were so deep.
shit.
It didn't matter if my body was free. In a way, it seemed fitting that I should remain in irons, captive by my own dark past. But now, something's changed.
She still wears them.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. So what's gonna be her style?
Yeah.
If you're so unhappy, why aren't you dead? Continuing to fight isn't going to change anything, so you might as well put yourself out of your misery once and for all.
I wonder if he is actually going to lose here. I don't think he is, but
Could be. The main thing is
For
about...
my entire life, I've never experienced the joy of being loved. I've had to endure being despised and deserted by my own people.
who has the stronger conviction about the future, you know?
sure.
And like you, I've tried to purge my pain through blood.
There are people that love you though, EA.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's why I feel you understood me.
I like that it almost isn't really about the fight itself. It's just a conversation.
After all,
Yeah.
we're both only capable of expressing ourselves through our violence.
Oh,
Now she's actually gonna attack.
whoa.
Okay.
Some kind of pyrokinesis, like remote explosions. Cool. Oh, a feint. What was that?
You coward. Why didn't you hit me when you had the chance? I was under the impression that you were supposed to be a ruthless killer. The kind of competitor that's incapable of mercy. Why should your tactics change so dramatically because you're fighting against me?
Don't you know?
Those kinds of gestures are wasted on me. I refuse to be insulted by these half-hearted attempts.
Oh.
Attack me like you can.
You're already dead.
Now that's more like it.
She just slipped past him.
It didn't even have a chance of blocking or getting out of the way. What if the fight just ended there?
It could.
Like, we were having a nice conversation and then you ruined it.
I mean, Hiei's the one that said I don't want a conversation.
Yeah.
So,
Here comes the
I just want to fight.
Just
Uh-huh.
delivered a doozy.
But I think that's it. Makuro is trying to show Hiei love, and he's never felt it, so he doesn't recognize it.
Sure. Right. If it was a conversation, she was doing nothing but listening until now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. He's just a little bit bruised. That was nothing. Oh.
All right.
Oh, your turn, Hiei?
Yeah, let's go.
He's doing it.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
Your flame technique. I find it strangely ironic that you were born a fire demon, even
Yeah.
though your mother's people are all ice apparitions.
Right?
My curse. To be born with a nature in direct opposition to my breed. With no choice but to consume everything around me with the flames of my hate.
Your hate. Now don't make me laugh. If
Yeah.
it were hatred, you would have destroyed the glacial village long ago.
Yeah.
Call him out. She's like, I'll show you hatred. Yeah.
It's not hatred, it's longing. You just want to belong to something.
Yeah.
You know in your soul that I'm right, Hiei. Admit it.
Oh.
And
They
it just
cancel each
stops.
other out.
I like this.
You know, for a fight between two heartless, ruthless warriors, this is uncomfortably bloodless. Why isn't he using his strongest attacks? Do you think there's something wrong with him?
He's responding.
Yeah.
Down, but there's definitely something in the way of his fists.
If you're having such trouble hurting me with two eyes, Hiei, then why don't you open your third? Unless, of course, you're the one fighting half-assed.
Damn.
Yep.
You've obviously got the Jagan for a reason. All I want you to do is use it to find what you've been looking for.
Whoa. Okay.
End your search. And find yourself.
Goodbye, mountain. Oh, that was cool.
Did you see that ray of
That was
light?
cool.
She's able to divide space.
Oh my god!
I
What?
thought it was nothing but a rumor.
What?
It seems the stories are actually true.
What does it do now?
Huh?
Kuro can cut directly through the entire third dimension itself. Anyone who comes in contact with the cuts will be split as well.
Oh. Oh my god, she's not playing around.
I feel real bad for any of the people really far in that direction.
Well, I think she has just enough to limit.
Right, it's localized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like mini portals into like another dimension, you know?
That's cool. The way the backgrounds are like a bunch of different
Stop
ones.
playing games, Hiei. We can't keep going back and forth forever. Neither of us will be satisfied until we properly settle this.
That's so
to its
cool.
only true resolution.
Yes, you're right about me. There is something I can't avoid. Just remember you asked for it.
I mean, she's been toying with you this whole time.
I mean, she's trying to get him to speak from the heart, really.
Right.
Giving him every opportunity to. Hey, they're bearing themselves. They're being more vulnerable. I love it. I love it.
That's cool.
Well, Vi fans, here we go.
She's like, I've seen this
Once
before.
I release this kind of power, there will be no turning back for either of us.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Of the darkness flame.
How much of himself is he gonna sacrifice for this? Because before it was his arm. She's just gonna meet it for power for power?
Oh!
Holy shit.
You'd have to let go! Oh. He's conscious.
Yeah.
He's getting up.
Now I am satisfied. Thank you. In truth, every time you've summoned the dragon, you weren't strong enough to control it consciously. It could only feed off the intentions of your soul.
Oh.
You've lost. Your flame couldn't hurt me.
The intentions of your soul
and all
weren't
that it
there.
means.
That's one tough act to follow.
Shit.
All right.
Awesome.
Please,
Love it.
Hiei,
Yeah,
don't
let's keep
tell me
talking.
that the only purpose you have for living now is someday defeating me. I don't think that I could bear it.
No, Makuro. You've just missed the point.
Nice. Nice.
Now you can leave your hatred in the past where it belongs.
Whoa.
I was hoping that would happen.
Now you don't have to be shackled to it anymore.
Beautiful.
It was love. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are things in the future that are worth living for, both for you and for me.
And now I'm gonna.
Could you catch me, please?
Yeah. Makuro picks up a crown. You drop this.
Short kings, short kings,
yeah,
short kings, short kings.
short kings.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Hey.
I love so much that Makuro's like, if you say something like, now my sole purpose for living is to get strong enough to defeat you. Like, it's just the... Thank you, Togashi. Thank you. That's why Kuwabara wasn't in this tournament. He's got it figured out already. Like, if he was in this tournament, it would make it too easy for everyone else because he'd be such a manly example of just like self, realization and fulfillment and actualization that like they'd just be like, yes, there we go. And then everyone would just give up and they'd be like, Kuwabara, we unanimously agree that you should be the king of Demon World.
And he's like, all right, well, I'm not gonna run it, so
I have tests because
my first order is that y'all elect like 12 to like, I don't know, 24 people to run it. And I'm gonna fuck off back to
finish
Human
school,
World. I'm gonna finish school.
I'll be back after.
I'm gonna marry Yukina and then there we go.
And every year or 4 years or whatever it was that it would happen, same thing happens. Just everyone's just like, yes.
He's like, wait, no, I've got it. Yukina, you're queen, huh? Everybody. All right, this is how you do a side fight with one of the main characters and a character that was recently introduced. You use the characters to give closure to each other.
Right.
Because, well, there's not much story left, but also, too, the fight itself, thank you, it's arbitrary. It doesn't matter. Right. It's not about who wins or loses here.
This felt like such a Togashi, like love letter and slightly stern word. You know, right? Yes. Where it's the no. Yeah, yes, is Hiei's Dragon of the Darkness Flame really fucking cool?
Yes.
Absolutely. Would it be cool to see him use that against other crazy powerful opponents and all that stuff?
Yes.
Yes. But is that the coolest thing that could happen?
No.
Right? It's what can that be the spectacle?
Why does he use it?
Right, why does he use it? What things are on the pedestal that like what things can we put on the pedestal that is the Dragon of the Darkness Flame to showcase, right? So yes, here you go. Self-acceptance and realizing that fighting isn't everything, and that like there are other things to life. It's almost like things that really like Yusuke at this point could use to learn. But yeah. So here we go.
Hiei, you were you might not be used again this arc. We'll see,
or potentially in this show.
Or the show, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that we get like an epilogue episode. That
would be wonderful.
And then we could have that there. But regardless, the way they put a cap basically on Hiei's story here is very, very beautiful. Because one, he has been the lone black swordsman ripoff of sorts.
Oh yeah,
and that's okay. That's okay. But yes, he needed a little bit more dimensionality to him. So we got that in spades with his backstory. But by knowing, what is he living for? What's his future hold?
Yeah.
Well, it's got someone in it.
Right.
At the very least, one.
This was like the answer from the question of his fight with Shigure. Where it's like, there's more out there, and he's still figuring things out, but what's that exactly going to look like?
Yeah. And your power, which could come from any emotion, but it just has to be a strong emotion.
Yeah.
Means that, maybe hatred would be enough to control the Dragon of the Darkness Flame.
Sure.
But maybe you also don't need to use it in such a way that it only drives people away or only, uses it in violent ways to solve problems. But you could use it to solve someone else's.
Exactly.
And what do you know? It was easy for you, Hiei.
Right.
It wasn't even really, it was barely an inconvenience. like the idea that Mukuro, who we get a nice quick flashback here. It's unfortunate, again, that we kind of are getting everything shoved in as fast as possible. Because these characters are interesting, but we need more time with them. But whatever.
Yeah, comparing this one episode fight to other one episode fights, it's couldn't those have been like 3-minute fights and then we get an extra half episode for this fight or something, but whatever.
Yeah. But the idea that her past was one of where she had things done to her that took away her agency and ability to free herself.
Right.
So by looking for someone that she could then find, not solitude, but kind of misery loves company, kind of
Right.
like someone else who had kind of been haunted by that. Maybe they would at the very least be able to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Not something that I think Makuro saw on the table was like Hiei will free me. It's no. We could be friends. We could be close in this.
A favorite line from the song Piano Man, they're sharing a cup called loneliness because it's better than drinking alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, sometimes that's enough.
Yeah.
That can be enough just to have someone else there.
Right. So this fight ended up being a conversation, which, yes, the best fights are just conversations. Thank you, Togashi.
Yep.
This was very on the nose, and
Right.
I liked it a lot. Some of my favorite fights in fiction are the end or the beginning of a conversation. Zuko versus Azula is one of my favorite examples of that, basically. But this is one of those where, hey, we have a character that was recently introduced. They are made in almost every way possible to have some kind of interesting parallel to Hiei.
Yep.
The bandages,
Birds of a feather.
the scars, the play on their both having their eyes kind of covered in a certain way, meaning that there's some aspect of them that's caught looking in the past and another one that's trying to look in the present, but they're not both looking forward into the future. So then they end up helping each other through this fight. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, and this is something that Yusuke might not have intended to come about entirely through this tournament, but because of this, he has set a precedent for where the fights that happen here can then be used as frameworks for we don't have to kill each other.
Yeah, this almost seems like it could be the not just the determining who's the next leader, but it's the regular scheduled, the nation coming together and basically all conversing with each other.
Right.
Open dialogues are had that are then observed and watched closely by the whole rest of the nation.
Yeah, maybe not super closely, because I think
a bunch of them happening simultaneously.
Well, not just that. I don't think they were giving commentary on any of the actual dialogue. The conversation was just the two of them.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
And in some ways, I kind of like that, because then it would slow down the pacing a lot to have people react to everything. But also, too, the fight here was intimate. It felt almost wrong that we were seeing it.
Right.
This was something that was a private conversation between two people that might share, not like love for the sake of they're into each other, but it's there was a form of love shared here, in that it was a vulnerable expression of the desire to share in each other's company and presence. And while they had that vulnerable moment already of sorts when he was in the tank, and
right, and she took off her mask and everything.
She had bared herself before him. I really like that this was the follow-up on that of, we shared some time together in the present. What does the future look like? No real, specific parameters set for this, but it's I will spend my everything, sacrifice what I have to help give you that little something, Makuro.
Right.
And then when all is said and done, I don't need to be the one to win. No, I'm not going to create some kind of cycle of violence or desire to make you be my rival or what have you. No. I'm just going to collapse
I won in
here,
my own
and
way,
I'm going to trust you to not let my nose smash on the ground here.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now. That was beautiful.
Yeah. I absolutely love it. I love how little spectacle there was in the fight. And how that was sort of the hey, come on, let's talk seriously now. And the most commentary we got on it is wait a minute, these two ruthless people, why aren't they why isn't there any blood? What's going on? Well, we're just having a good conversation.
I love this kind of stuff. I feel like there are times when I'll miss kind of what's the right word here? Where I'll get kind of too zeroed in on a specific aspect of the story, that, say, the main character, for instance, in this case, Yusuke, is kind of purporting here. and I'll kind of forget where the side characters are at individually,
Mm.
because I feel like a lot of these types of battle shonen will sometimes warp everything around the desires of the main character, and then the side characters, in whatever would make sense for them logically to want or do, kind of gets put on the side, and it doesn't really matter. Whereas this case with Kurama and Hiei, they this is what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And the characters that they engaged with brought this out of them, but also, you know, they are kind of used in service of these two characters.
Right.
And thus, they don't get the majority of the focus, but still, in order to find a way to have them be used to elevate another character without sacrificing the integrity of their character, you do really need to have this set up way in advance for this to work. And so it's the kind of thing where in Yu Yu Hakusho, I don't understand how you can have an episode and a fight like this and then have the actual, like, just wasted episodes of the the tertiary character fights. It feels like this is the actual, like, story, and that's just nothing, basically.
Given that we were informed that it wasn't actually because Yu was canceled, but that Togashi just decided to end it because he wasn't feeling it anymore. You know, I feel like I can see both the positives and the negatives of that. Where it's he has these things that he's wanting to do, and if you notice, the things that we've had for our main characters in their fights so far are character resolutions.
Yes.
Right? Both for Kurama and for Hiei. 2 for 2. I'm curious how Yusuke's would work, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of the contributing factors to maybe Togashi being like, I'm not feeling it as much anymore. But that's the meat and potatoes of it. The other things, it's the other fights, it's well, I guess this is a tournament, so there are these other characters that exist. It's fun to have them as cameos, but now I kind of have to give them their, like, due time in the spotlight. But at the same time, I'm not really feeling much from them, you know? I feel like, whereas this episode, there almost isn't that much that needs to be said about it. It speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's very simple and straightforward of what's happening and what's going on and why it's meaningful. There you go.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they exchanged, they saw each other, they accepted each other, and now they get to move forward.
And the big thing that makes me sad about, like, this episode and it being at the end of the show is I'm like, no, but I want to see episodes of them interacting after this, seeing the new grooves being set that they've started after a lifetime of, you know, going down this path of hatred, violence. That's everything to me. That's all I am.
Right.
Once you put that aside, what does it actually look like to walk that out?
Yeah, and that's where I'm like, I can kind of feel a bit of the jank with this arc, is that the tournament doesn't, like, it is contrived. The idea of the tournament being the thing that forces this is contrived. This encounter
Could have
didn't need to happen
absolutely outside the tournament.
Did not need to happen inside of a tournament.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the thing where I feel that's the thing that feels awkward about this, is I understand the desire to have a simple kind of framework to move things forward in a nice kind of linear fashion, and yet that feels more like the roadmap towards a quick kind of end, where a lot of the stuff that we focused on by driving all these other characters into the story, when it could have been about the individual demons and then our main character counterparts interacting with each one respectively.
Right.
Yeah.
In a situation like this, where I would see it doing the best is, yes, you have things that are fights that are exactly like this.
Yeah.
But then in order for it to be a tournament, you need to have these continue to happen in the future brackets. And the thing is that given that in this episode, the journey was such a personal one, and it was the same thing for Kurama,
right.
What do you do when they have future fights? The only thing that I can see myself as how it would work and have a similar impact is that then it's not about them dealing with their own personal thing as an individual, but how they relate to their opponent. So, like, for instance,
right.
Kurama fighting Yomi, or Makuro fighting Yomi, you know, something
Makuro
like that.
And Yomi is one I would very much like to see.
I would very much like to see that, right? Where it's the, okay, we've all grown as people. We've all had these ways in which we've been able to develop and get new perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So now what do we do when we're actually put into conflict with each other, right? In
Right.
Makuro and Yomi's case, we've been at odds with each other for a long time, but we've been rethinking our lives recently. Do we
Right.
still want this, right? And once you run out of those, why don't the characters just leave the tournament? They got what they came for. Who
Right.
cares really who the leader of Demon World is, you know?
In that respect, that's kind of where I see Kurama's going, is that he just concedes his fight to whoever, immediately to whoever.
Right,
it ends
some
up
punk
being.
demon, you know? It's like,
Or no,
oh,
just literally like Yomi or Yusuke.
no, sure, but like even if it was some demon that he could have beaten, I could see him still being like, no, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm not here to just get killed or end up killing somebody else who has
Right.
more conviction than me about this. If anything, yeah, I think the only thing that he would make sure to keep going for is if he would eventually have a fight with Yomi and he sees in the brackets where he's like, oh,
I'll get
if
to
I
there.
win this, then I can get to do this with Yomi, then yeah, I want that.
Right.
Not for my sake, but I feel like he would want that.
Right.
Like,
It's out of respect to the friendship that we had and whatever new friendship we might still have.
right.
You know?
And I would also like him to get introduced to me, the new me,
Yeah.
and have him accept that. And even if it's something where Yomi might need to vent out a little bit of frustration with that, it's the I can take it. I
Yeah.
can take it.
It
That could be really cool.
to
But-
quote
but yeah.
Arcane, here's to us.
Yeah. But I'm very excited if they can manage to do this a third time.
Right.
Togashi,
Yeah, three's a pattern.
if
yeah.
you do this with Yusuke and whoever
Then-
he ends up fighting, even if it's not his next fight, but like the final fight or whatever, awesome.
Awesome.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all
Next time.